everyone, I'm here with a different project today. Still mixed media, still painting, but I'm actually altering a file folder and I'm making it into a pouch. So I've pre-gessoed the manila folder, which is what ours are called, and they're a different style to what the Americans have. And I'm just adhering some Tim Holtz tissue wrap with some matte medium over it all. And I probably should have put some watered down gesso over it to send it in the background a bit more. After I've finished the actual folder, I can say that now. Anyway, so I'm taking some ultra fine glitter paint by Deco Art and just painting it on. I wanted some shimmer to it because it's going to my granddaughter. So I'm using blue, pink and yellow. The yellow is just a plain acrylic paint. It has no glitter in it. If I wanted to add glitter to it, I would have just added some. And this project was inspired once again by Sara, my Serenity Crafts, who I just love to watch. Having said that, I pretty much do what Sara has done in this, and I've done that for years, is just adding layers upon layers upon layers on my journal pages. But I went with what Sara was doing every step of the way with this one. Although the one that Sara recorded on YouTube was with darker colours, a red, a blue and a yellow, where I went with the softer colours. So I added some white gesso first, just with my finger, and now I changed the ultrafine glitter paints to just normal acrylic paints with the pink and the blue. And I'm going through I'm sponging over a gifted stencil there with those three colours. So pretty much what Sara did, she stamped over, so she stamped the pink on the pink, the blue on the blue, and the yellow on the yellow, and the white on the white. But I don't have any foam stamps, and I think what I might do is actually make a few just for my journal pages. So now I'm using a Dilutions Leaf Flourish stencil, again using the same colours that I've used throughout, again going over the same colours. So it's pretty much just building layers. And now I'm painting on some white gesso onto a stamp from the Tim Holtz Bitty Grunge stamp set, and just stamping that on the white areas on the file folder. And now taking a plastic card with some Mars Black acrylic paint and just adding that, which I probably think was a bit of an overkill because I still had all that black from the tissue wrap showing through. Anyway, so I'm taking more of the Bitty Grunge stamps and painting them with the Mars Black acrylic paint and stamping that all over the file folder. I then bring in some ink using Stays On Teal Blue now, with another of the stamps from that same Bitty Grunge stamp set, and using some magenta hue. So again staying with the pink and the blue and the yellow, but just using those stamps from the Bitty Grunge stamp set. And they're an amazing set for backgrounds layering. So I'm using some saffron archival ink now. And what I did to one side, I did to the other, and that inside bit up the top. Now this washi tape that I have, it feels like a canvas, but the glue is sort of stuck to the design side, and so it just peeled off, and so did the you can see there the design was very greyed out, so it was useless. So I used 2 pieces of that, and I had to adhere it down with some glue. So all my other washi tape was fine. I just stuck it down with its own stickiness, but I do go over it later on with some matte medium. So again, using the soft pink, blue and yellow colours in my washi tapes, and the first one was the black and white, which I've also used on this folder. Now this is an unknown named stamp. It's a butterfly. I've had it for years, and I'm stamping this butterfly using jet black archival ink onto a piece of paper that I'd previously worked using the PBO Fantasy Moon paints, I think, and it was just sitting in my stash. So I thought, well, they were similar colours to what I'm using, I'll use that. And now I'm stamping the butterflies onto the page where I want them situated. That way I've got the antennae. And now I'm adhering them down with some Elmer's Craft Bond glue. It's a quick drying glue, and it's a really good glue. Made sure that they were completely dried before I went to the next step. So taking some Neocolor 2s in cobalt blue and purple, which was what I thought was like a magenta colour, but it says it's purple, and just drawing some scallops along the edges. Now Sara did this as well. Then took my water brush and activated those colours. Just sort of gave it a bit of solid colour that was missing from the page, I thought. So it's just dissolving those Neocolor wax pastels. And now going around all the butterflies with a black Stabilo All pencil, just to give it some dimension and to make them pop from the page. Because of the similar colours, they sort of got lost a bit, so you needed that depth. And activating the pencil with a water brush. So you can see there that it does make them pop. Now I'm just using a POSCA pen to define those scalloped areas. And I also use a smaller POSCA pen to darken the stamped image there of the head and the antenna. And now I'm taking my favourite journal stamp. It's one from Hero Arts called Sketch Circle. And it's either that I use, or I used tape roll. Brilliant for doing these sort of circles. Now I'm just masking those butterflies before I add some Heidi Swap Colour Shine in gold. Splatters all over the page, but I think they got lost once I added the matte medium. Anyway, Sharpie paint pen here just to sort of separate those pieces of washi tape. It didn't really work out too well. I probably should have used black. That's okay, it just all adds to it. And now I'm sealing it all over using some matte medium. I didn't want anything to come off down the track, such as the Stick Below All Pencil, the Neo colours, if they weren't completely activated. So now, instead of using my sewing machine to sew the edges of this folder together to make the pouch, I decided I would just use a blanket stitch and embroidery thread. So I came in 1/4 of an inch from the edge and then marked 1/4 of an inch lines all along, and then poked a pokey tool through to make the holes. And then I took a needle and continued to do the blanket stitch. Now, I do try and show you close up how I do that, and at a slower pace soon, so you can actually see. And the thread ran out halfway down the side, so I'm now going to show you that I've just tied a few knots and cut that end off. And now I'm showing you how I'm going to restart it. So I just loop it through that stitch there, then come up through the hole and continue on. And I only used 2 strands of the thread. Maybe I should have used 3 or 4. Don't know, time will tell. And how Amelia treats it, I guess, how well it gets used, how often. Yeah, I'm trying to show you. So just put your thread over like that, your needle down and up, and then through that loop. Down and up and over that loop, so keep it at the bottom and then push that through, and that just loops it through there and keeps it together. And I've done this stitch, blanket stitch, with my patchwork quilts for years because I love applique. I'm not a machine quilter by any means, but I do love sitting and just appliquing. Although I haven't done it for years, I do intend on getting back to it soon. Now I think I stay here until the end and show you how I ended off. Yep, just go through there and knot it a few times, sort of like a dead knot. And I left that. Now here's where I start the other side. So I came in through the inside, so it hid the knot, and then down through that first hole and just continue from there. Make sure I do a loop through there. Right, and that's how we start. Bring that needle up over that thread so it gives a loop. Oh, and I've just undone it. And then there I go again. Almost done. You'll see close-up photos at the end of this video. Now I decided, instead of cutting off the thread, I would loop through some beads and just hang it on the top there of the folder. And I didn't show it, but I added a little angel charm to the thread on the other side. You may see it in the close-up photos. If not, check out my blog where all the photos will be shown. Now I just wanted to make sure that stayed intact, so I added some glossy accents to it. Alright, thanks for watching guys, and I'll be back next week with another video. Don't forget the link to Sara, who this was inspired by, the video that she did on the altered file folder pouch will be linked below in the description. Thanks guys, bye.